Welcome to the Own Your Best Life podcast. I'm May Empson, your host, leadership and mindset coach. Here, we talk all things spiritual, mindset, business, leadership, and wellness for the modern seeker who wants to align their life with purpose and inspiration. We'll cover career changes, stress management, meditation, energy, intuition, and more. Each episode holds spiritual and practical tools to help you live a life of your wildest dreams without getting burnt out along the way. Ready to live a life on your own terms? This is the Own Your Best Life podcast. Welcome, friends, to episode number 156 of the Own Your Best Life podcast. So confidence is this elusive term, and we think it's something that we either are born with or just given in spades. Yet if this was actually the case, we might as well just give up on doing anything new or anything different. And we also know that if we felt more confident, we'd likely be able to have the life that we want sooner. So it's worth it, and it's worthwhile for us to be able to create and build confidence in our work and in our lives. So let's spend some time today debunking confidence at work, reviewing what it actually means to be confident. And so the other day, I was talking to a client about feeling more confident at work, and they knew they had created some amazing opportunities in roles and organizations that previously seemed out of reach. Yet there was still that feeling of self-doubt, that feeling of concern, that feeling of, well, in this leg of the journey, maybe this part is new, working with new people or different people, and the sense of scrutiny or people looking and judging or checking to see if you're as good as they thought you were is there. So that question of self-doubt comes back, right? Is it going to return? Are you going to have that inner critic start talking very loudly again? And would you start to feel miserable? And so it's so interesting to actually see that no matter what we get, no matter what opportunities we have, we are always in this place where we just don't assume confidence. We still question, we still wonder, we still work as if we aren't confident enough and we need even more confidence. So I'm going to tell you why you need to forget this feeling of innate confidence, why you need to just assume that it's never going to matter as much as your ability to figure things out and to go to and to find confidence. And what confidence actually means is that you trust your abilities. It doesn't mean you have nothing to worry about. It doesn't mean you never make mistakes. It doesn't mean that you should have every question answered before it was asked. It means that you are determined. It means that you are resourceful and that you are human. So how do you actually appear confident if you don't feel confident? So I've actually been called confident in my life or self-assured more than once. But I do remember being surprised the first time someone said in a passing remark, well, you're obviously confident. And that was that first aha moment where that light bulb turned on. I realized that people don't see all the questions that you have in your head. They notice your tone, they notice your stance, they notice your unwavering gaze and how you show up energetically. And I knew beneath the appearance of confidence was a real human who cares about what other people think, wants to do the right thing. And I'm not always 100% sure. I'm not always confident that everything I do or say is the absolute truth, or that it will even work out the way that I expect. And so you don't have to be confident to appear confident and find confidence. And it is 100% useful and entirely helpful for you to expect that you go to confidence. What you can do is be confident in your willingness. You're willing to grow through this thing that you're figuring out. You're willing to learn. So be confident in that willingness to have that kind of open mind. You're willing to be wrong. even if you don't want to be, when you try something new, you know that there is inevitably a place where you will fall. So be confident that you have that willingness to try, knowing that you are working towards figuring out standing back up again after you fall, figuring out the solution once you're going to hit those inevitable problems. And you're willing to do something because you think it will help. You're trying to contribute in some way, shape, or form. So just be confident in your desire to help. And one of the things that's very powerful for us to do is to actually use our body. Our body communicates so much more than we realize. So if you can check your body language and your tone, you can stand up straight. If you sit or stand with an open stance, if you're looking people in the eye directly, these are all building trust. And you can do this in any situation. It doesn't have to be in front of this big meeting. It can be with the people that you see as you walk down the street and you talk to them, you look up, you stand up. It could be anyone that you are running into on a daily basis. It can even be in all those video conversations that you have on the day to day. And so you'll notice too that there will be a shift in your own biology, in your own physiology once you stand as if you're confident. Cortisol will actually start to lower, which is a stress hormone. Breathing slows down. Your ability to think and solve problems increases. And so when we are entirely stressed out and we are in that fight or flight mode, we tend to not see a lot of options. We tend to narrow in. We tend to just run for the first thing and we go. Whereas confidence looks like being able to hold on, to wait something out, to be uncomfortable and okay. You notice that people who seem highly confident seem to be the cool and calm ones in situations where everyone else is flustered. And so if you can even imagine what that looks like, you'll notice that there's likely a sense of almost like relaxed confidence about them, where they don't seem super hyped up and anxious, but there's almost like a slowing down, a pacing of a conversation, a questioning that comes from like a genuine curiosity or a genuine knowing that you will figure things out. And so when you do it in your body, it's going to sound counterintuitive, but if you stand, if you walk, and if you talk as if you are confident, this will actually lead to more confidence. You will actually start to feel it in your body and be able to then appear confident, even if you didn't originally feel confident. So just know you can go there. It's super easy. You don't have to just have it. You don't have to be that person that never gets nervous when you're about to speak. You just have to go to the place where you can use all those body cues and know that that eventually brings a sense of calm into your body. It might not be like the most calm, but it's okay also to be at your edge a bit and to know that this is a choice and that you're willing to do this. And that confidence comes from the willingness and the choice aspect. No one asked you to do this, you decided to. And you put yourself in these challenging or hard situations on purpose. And that means there's something innate in you that wants to feel a little bit of that sense of uncertainty, of that discomfort, and figure things out. Even our bodies sometimes like to feel a little bit of that stress, right? You like almost the adrenaline that comes when you push, or any of the kind of heavy workouts or the high intensity things that you do, or even just holding things that are hard for longer periods of time. You realize that that's a choice and a challenge that you're willing to take on. So when you feel that confidence isn't just there, it's like strength. Strength is built, strength is maintained. And it brings us to the next point, which is about strength being a practice. So the next thing to really consider is to practice it. Confidence is also born from the ability to take action even if you're not sure of the outcome, even if you're not sure if it's going to work out, if you can speak up, even if you are not sure that you're right, this is what it means. And the thing I want you to know is you're doing it already. You're doing it all the time. Every single day of your life, someone comes up to you and asks you questions, and you're confidently talking about things that you don't know things about. So people ask you questions, you have to answer, you figure it out. And so confidence isn't about pretending that you're infallible and that you're never going to be wrong. It's knowing that it is valuable for you to share your thoughts and opinions with others. Sometimes people get mad at people who seem very confident because they think to themselves, well, they can't 100% know, but why do they speak with such authority as if they do know? And I think what's actually going on inside is that they just speak like this. They just share their thoughts. And if you're not as willing to share your thoughts and to speak up, it will feel as if you should only say things, only speak up if you are 100% sure. And so the difference between the people who seem confident and the people who don't may just be in the way they are able to consistently share their ideas. And so if you are speaking up and yet you worry about what other people are going to think, what they're going to say, right? Know that this isn't confidence. It's not a issue where you don't know things. It's just a lack of practice being in situations where you might not know everything, but you have to talk. You have to do something. So if you can practice the art of saying what you do know and being honest about what you don't know, you'll actually find yourself naturally becoming more confident. I remember when I was an early consultant at McKinsey, and naturally you're going into all these industries and you're working with people that have been there for decades, many times. And you may have some kind of experience. You might know something, but you don't know everything for sure. You don't know what their day to day is like. You don't know the answer to every single question that comes up. Yet you need to appear confident. You need to appear as if there's value with you being there. And so I do remember advice that I had received from one of my managers, which is that you don't have to be dishonest. You don't have to lie and just say things that aren't true, but you can actually say, this is what I do know, and this is what I don't know. Right? And the way it sounds is more like, well, I'm not sure about this or whatever you're actually talking about. Like, I'm not sure about this thing, but what I do know is X, Y, and Z. And we have to go to the place where you say, well, what do I know? Where can I get the answer if I don't have it? There's always this responsibility that you take on to try to figure it out. It doesn't mean you know, but it means that you will help and you will try and you're willing to. And so that's why I think it's so important for us to realize and start to take away all of those extraneous thoughts about confidence, that we just have to know everything in order for us to be in that place where we can add value, versus what if you do have something that you do know amidst all the things that you don't know. And so one thing that I really want you to know is that it's way less work than you think. If you think you need to control everything, that's a sign of perfectionism. And that's a scary mental health slope to be skiing down. So if it's true, which it is, that you can't control everything and you can't control everything around you, then you can actually focus on what you can control versus trying to control everything around you. And so that's an important point to make, is that confidence is not perfection. And one of the things that is a given in our life is that we are going to be fallible, which means that we will make mistakes. And if you know ahead of time, it's as if you figured it out. Confidence isn't about believing in your perfection, but believing that there are improvements to be made that have to see the light of day. So you're confident in the imperfection. I'm confident I will not get it perfect. So just own that instead of trying to be confident in the perfection. Practice this sense of imperfect progress and getting used to hearing the sound of your own voice until you see that even when you don't know it all, you're used to saying what you do know. So one thing for you to actually do from this is I want you to think about the next meeting or event that you feel a little bit nervous about. And I want to bring it back to you checking in on these things that you can control. One is your body language. Just remember, right, I can use my body to help me feel more confident. And I know that there's a little bit of that sense of energy that's going to be running through me. And that's also okay because I'm willing and I chose and I'm still choosing to do this thing. The second thing to check in on is just speaking up to practice. So just hear the sound of your own voice. There's no need to overthink confidence and have this long, drawn out build up to where you will finally be confident in life. You can just decide today, in this moment, that you have figured out that you never needed confidence. You never needed it at work or in your home life. You just needed to be willing to use your body as if you were confident and to practice listening and using the power of your voice. And if you do those things, you're going to show up more confident at work, more confident in your life, more confident in who you are, and more confident that you will figure things out. All right, my friend. So this is the kind of topics that we discuss all the time in Spiritual Achiever coaching. So if you want that kind of clarity and that kind of release and freedom, I invite you to schedule a consultation at www.mayemson.com/contact to learn more about what coaching is, what it looks like, and how you can think about your next steps. And if you haven't already heard, I have a free training and masterclass about figuring out what's next that you can jump in on and get access to today. So if you go to the show notes, you're going to find the link for the masterclass there. It will help you figure out where you are, the 3 places that you could be, and what you want to do at these different kinds of career and life intersections so you don't waste any more time. All right, so have an amazing week. I hope to see you and talk to you all very soon. Bye now. Thanks so much for joining us this week on Own Your Best Life. Make sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts so that you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, can you please rate and review on iTunes? I would so appreciate it. Share it with a friend, take a screenshot of it, and tag @MayEmson. This helps continue to get the word out. For more show notes and resources, check out www.mayemson.com. You'll have all the links to everything you heard here today. Thanks so much for listening. It's time to own your best life.